Welcome to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. I'm your host, Mari Reesberg. Over the past several years, I've combined my degrees in acting and somatic psychology to share my sustaining creativity techniques with performers. And now I've decided to share it with a bigger audience that includes you. I believe we are all creative, and this podcast is all about that. I'll be interviewing people from all backgrounds, ages, and creativity experiences to share just how creative we all are. Today, I'll be chatting with Keldamuzik, recording artist, actress, producer, and entrepreneur. Please enjoy Keldamuzik. Welcome to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. Today I'm here with Keldamuzik, the diva. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, Mari. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm excited that you are joining me today to chat about creativity. But before we jump into that conversation, why don't you let our listeners know a little bit more about who you are and what you do?
Yes, of course. So, yes, I am Keldamuzik, aka Diva, the Diva. I am a hip hop recording artist, actress, talk show host, entrepreneur, and now in the fashion industry. So, I'm pretty much, I don't know, I'm becoming a jack of all trades when it comes to the entertainment industry.
Absolutely. Maybe a Jill of all trades.
There you go.
Yeah.
Even better.
I love it. Well, with your hand in so many aspects of the creative expression and creative experience, what does it mean to you to be creative?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Being creative is what life's about. You know, it's a form of therapy, it's a form of relief. It's an aid to help you think clearly and to help you focus. Whatever the creative, I don't know, whatever the creative art or product that you're working with, it's just really to help you mentally. And you can be creative at anything, you know, whether it's music, TV, film, fashion, or you know, being a painter, or being gosh, there's just some you know, being in the tech industry, right? Being creative and creating all these apps for people, and graphic arts, designs, just there's so many ways of being creative. And just for me, creative is definitely a mental focus type of thing, just to keep us all going in the right path, in the right
Mhm.
direction. And hey, whatever we make out of it is what we do. And that's the whole exciting part about being creative.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I 100% agree with everything you just said. I love it. I think everyone is creative. We all have the capacity to share creativity, not only with ourselves, but with other people, whether that's putting food on a plate for family or putting
Yeah,
food on a plate for patrons at a restaurant. It doesn't
exactly.
matter. Yeah. So
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
love that. And I love the aspect of the support for mental health. I know you are a huge proponent of mental health care and
Yes,
support. And
definitely.
I'm so curious, how does that show up in the work that you do and your own life?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, musically, it shows up through my lyrics and through
Mhm.
my performances. And, you know, just like how we see artists like, you know, Tina Turner, Michael Jackson, all the way to, you know, Beyonce and Taylor Swift, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, you know, it's all again a way to release our expressions and to
Mm,
express ourselves the way we want to, without, you know, being told or without being
mm,
managed to do that. You know, we're doing it
mhm,
on our own. And for me, just lyrically, I started, you know, writing poetry before I
mm,
became an artist, you know,
mhm,
and just writing how I felt at the moment on paper. And before that even started, it started with a diary, you know,
oh,
just
yeah.
you know, coming home from school every day and talking about what happened, or talking about what you know, the future.
Mhm,
And for me, I just I love writing my thoughts out. I love expressing myself. And
Hmm.
even I'll say, like, every other day, I'll wake up and write a business plan, a new business plan every day. Like, I'm insane. And then I'll look at my previous business plans. I said, hey, I already said that. And I said that again and again. Okay, I must really want to pursue this, this project or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So, yeah, it's just so many ways to express your creativity through your art,
Hmm.
and like you said, whether it's through cooking,
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely. And I love the kind of the clear line that you just shared with us from a diary to poetry to lyrics and taking
Yeah.
that through. Now, being that you do so many things, I can imagine sometimes you bump up against some blocks, whether
Yeah.
they're self-imposed or external. How do you face some of those more creative challenges that you find yourself navigating?
That's when I start to binge on a lot of TikTok content, YouTube, social media content, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of start studying what other people do,
Mm.
and sometimes that's, hey, you got to take a break. Sometimes you have to meditate. Sometimes you have to drink some tea.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have to exercise, stretch, and just really recharge yourself for a second, or
Hmm.
even take a 15-minute nap, right?
Mm.
Or again, even just write something down, right?
Hmm.
You just kind of have to have some type of routine that you practice every day to
Mm.
calm your mind and your body down so that you could recharge and bring yourself back up to normality and know what you're working on and how you want to further pursue your creative art. So there's just different ways to really deal with challenges, and I think we all have our own ways of dealing with it, but yeah, that's mine.
I love it. I mean, they're great tools and tips for other people to try as well if they find themselves bumping up against their own challenges.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of like, starting with a diary and then getting into poetry,
Yeah.
was this something that was like really cultivated in your life growing up, or was this something that you kind of came to on your own and turned it into what it is today?
Oh, definitely. From doing this as a kid, being a child actor, auditioning and for acting roles and going to acting school. Reading different monologues and commercials really intrigued me
Mm.
to start writing myself. And even when I was like between the ages of like 6 and 8 years old, I would get lots of binder
Mhm.
paper pieces and I would just start writing my own books, at least that's what I thought I was doing, and then
Yeah.
stapling it together, and it's like 5 pages, and coloring each page, and writing a caption for each page, and then the title would be based off all the captions of what I wrote in each page, and I would summarize it into one sentence, and okay, this is called, that the dog that ran across the street today, and I'm drawing pictures of the dog, me and the dog, and each on each page, and each page progresses with the story. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And so for me, I found that really, really intriguing because
Mhm.
now you're putting yourself in someone else's shoes, in a writer's shoes, in an author's shoes,
Mhm.
and you kind of see what they went through. So yeah, it definitely started when I was a kid, and oh gosh, just taking English class was amazing for me. I loved English. I loved public speaking,
Mhm.
and also just learning from others that were in that position as well.
Yeah. And growing up, was this something that your family was a part of, or were you the one person in the family that was acting and everyone else was doing
Yes.
other stuff?
No, so it was so funny too. I'll say like between the ages of like 10 and 12, I used to act like this businesswoman. Like I had my own agency, and I would get my parents when they bought their first big screen TV. I would take the box, turn it over, and I would use it as my office desk. And I have all my mom's leftover medical papers, and I'm using my brother as my client. And I say, okay, so today we're gonna book you for this movie, and we're gonna submit you to this casting call. And really, I was doing it. I was, on the computer emailing casting directors, and I was representing my brother and my mom to where I got them featured as an extra in John Travolta's movie called Mad City.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it.
I was learning about work permits and everything. And while I was still going to school, unfortunately, my grades weren't, they didn't really reach the requirement. So I was still managing my brother and my mom and sending them out on auditions and introducing them to different casting directors and agents and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this is like in your blood. This is
In my
like
blood.
part of the fabric of who you are. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
it's
Yeah.
amazing. So, I mean, it seems like so many things inspire you. You do so many different things, recording artist, R&B artist, entrepreneur, fashion
Everything.
design,
Fashion now.
fashion,
Got the Cam's
acting.
berets. Yes,
Yeah.
acting. Yeah.
So, where do you like draw your inspiration from, or who or what inspires you today?
Yeah, you know what? My grandfather was a famous musician in the city of or the small town called Modesto, and he played several instruments, and he
Mm,
wrote all of his music. And watching him write the notes for when he played his piano,
mhm,
that right there inspired me
mm,
to know and to have the want and the drive to be creative. And I said,
mhm,
whoa, you could apply the same knowledge to not only just music, but to film as well, to
mhm,
fashion as well. Whatever it is where you want to apply your creativity, you can do that. And
mhm,
it stems from learning from others. I learned from him. I learned from, my grandma who worked at a university.
mhm,
Um, and then obviously I learned from, my peers as well.
mm.
We just all have some, I don't know, just some form of art built inside of us, and we have to find a way to express that art. And mine is through entertainment.
Yeah, and I'm also hearing like so much drive.
Yeah,
You are
yeah,
so driven that not
yeah.
everyone kind of comes out of the womb with that. So
Right, right, right.
how did you kind of recognize your own drive, and how was that supported in your life?
Yeah, that's so crazy that you asked that, because when I was in high school, and at the time when I was trying to get signed to a label as an artist, and also try to get signed to a agency as an actor, I
Hmm.
told myself, when I woke up one day, I said, you know what? At the end of the day, I really don't need anyone, because as long as I have my brain and I'm alive, I know what I can do for myself better than what
Mm,
anyone else could do for me. And that right
okay.
there was just like the motivational aspect for me, because I know I can, and I
Yeah.
know I'm willing to do it. And once you're in it, you just get busy and you keep going, to where,
Hmm.
yeah, you have other people that want to start, surrounding themselves by you and involving themselves in your projects and stuff. And it's kind of like they're at your feet now. They have to
Mm,
do what you want to do. You don't have anyone over you telling you what to do, because for me, that's what kind of, I don't know, that's what brings down the drive. When you have someone
hmm,
telling you what to do and what not to do, it's like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. But when you
mm,
know you have that power, hey, you take off with it and you just want to keep going and going.
hmm. Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's
Yeah.
so interesting you say that, like the being in control and calling the shots versus
Yeah.
being told what the shots
Exactly.
are that you have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think not everyone recognizes that that
Hmm.
is something that you that can open up
Yeah.
inspiration or passion or desire in ways that you were not expecting versus
Yes.
being told how to do things and what to do with that. I mean, you strike me
Definitely.
as someone who is not going to let someone tell you what's going to work and
Right.
what isn't. If you've got a vision, you're going to make sure that vision comes to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and
for
and, and yeah, and it's great having people who want to contribute. I always welcome that. But when
yeah,
people want to be in control, that's where I'm like, okay, this isn't fun anymore.
right. Well, in speaking of like having contributors or people
Mhm.
participating, how does your community impact or influence your creativity?
Oh gosh, they impact me tremendously.
Mm,
From just walking outside my door and you're seeing people hanging out at the park
mm,
or having a barbecue or outside swimming or a festival going on, you feel like there's something that you can contribute to enhance the community, right? To
mm,
make things better, to make things more fun, to, to make things easier for people. So,
mhm,
and that's how community activists come about because
mhm,
hey, okay, you walk outside and you see a bunch of kids who want to swim in a pool, but say the pool may not be that clean. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So you want to contribute somehow to make that pool sanitary for those kids to swim whenever they want. Now you want to build a slide. Now you want to build a fountain. Now you just want to keep enhancing what it is. And
Yeah.
it's really all to bring smiles to people's faces at
Mm.
the end of the day.
I love that. That is a
Yeah.
great goal and great reminder when
Yeah.
you do feel stuck or
Yeah.
something isn't happening as quickly as you want or how you want
Yeah.
it to. For
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Yeah. Now, with everything that you do, I imagine you come in contact or across people who may not feel creative or
Right.
really struggle to find that creative spark.
Yeah.
How do you like how would you encourage others to find creativity in their life?
Yeah, definitely. And I love consulting people about that too, by the way, as an
Yeah,
entrepreneur.
right?
I tell them focus on one thing that you are a fan of.
Mm,
Okay, you're a fan of watching horror films. Okay, great. Now, give your critique on a horror film. Oh, you wrote a paragraph about it. Submit it to this blog. See if they publish it. Oh, you wrote an article about this film, how you felt about it, whether good or bad.
mhm,
You submit it somewhere, it gets published. From
mm,
there, you just keep building. Now you're an official movie critic. You know what
mm,
I mean? So,
mhm,
and that from there turns into something else. So,
mhm,
whatever your hobbies are, or whatever you're a fan of, whatever you like to do in your spare time,
mhm,
pursue that one thing and
mm.
enhance it, grow it, and watch what doors open for you
Mm.
and watch what comes up next. So we
Yeah.
we all have something, even a doctor has
Mhm.
a side dream or imagination where he always wanted to be Tom Cruise in a film or where he wanted to be a fitness guru, whatever, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Use that and grow it, feed
Mhm.
it. It's a plant.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just the best way to really motivate yourself into doing something is
Mhm.
something that you like.
Yeah, I love that idea of like starting with one thing
Yeah.
and just expanding or growing and
Yeah.
building on that one aspect. Because, yeah, I think so many people have those like wild dreams that
Yeah.
they then discount or say, oh, I couldn't possibly do that. But
Right.
when you break it down into one step,
Yeah.
you probably could, right? You could
Exactly.
do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And not that, hey, not that you're looking to make $1 million off of it or anything, but
Right.
it doesn't hurt to work at it maybe an hour a day and
Hmm.
just see what happens. Right.
Yeah.
So
Totally. I
yeah.
love it. Such a great reminder for people to that just that first little small step can
Hmm.
make big waves
Definitely.
down the line. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what are some of those things, as a lot of times I talk to creative people and when creativity becomes a job,
Hmm.
it loses its magic or it loses some aspect of it. So how do you keep your creative cup full?
Definitely. That's where I have the contributors and
Mm,
I'm in control of
mhm,
what I do.
mm,
I don't mind because every individual that you have, whether it's a friend or relative, can contribute something.
mhm,
But when you're in charge of something, when you're in charge of that and you oversee it and you watch that something grow or again enhance what you're doing is what for you not only makes you feel motivated, but also just makes you feel like this is something you own. This is your child. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And it's no
Mm-hmm.
better than raising a child or raising an animal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And we become overprotective with
Mm.
that because it is something that we've given birth to.
Right.
So yeah, in a nutshell, when something is yours, you own it. That right there, there's no turning back. All you can do
Mm.
is just keep moving forward and
Mm-hmm.
growing.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So, so true. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This has been such a treat to chat with you. I have one last question.
Yeah.
What does it feel like in your body to be
Mhm.
creative?
Uh, Gosh, I feel like a walking piece of art.
Mhm.
Just it feels great to be creative, and it also gives you a purpose. Like, this is
Mm,
why I'm put on this earth, to do this. Because when you
yeah.
have one person who commends you on your work
Mm,
or acknowledges your work,
mhm.
that right there, you're doing it all for this one person.
Mm,
So it's all just for bringing a smile to that one face.
I love it. So true. Thank
Yeah.
you for
Yeah.
that. And thank you for sharing all of your stories and pieces today. If people want to learn more about the things that you have out in the world, how could they go about
Yes.
doing that?
Yes, visit my website. It's keldamuzik.com, KELDAMUZIK.com. You'll see all my latest music videos, music releases, films, TV projects, fiction projects. Just everything is on the website as well. All my socials you'll find on the website as well. So, yeah.
Perfect. Well, I will put that link in show notes so people have super easy access. And thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation.
Yes, thank you so much, Mari. You're amazing.
Thanks for listening to the Sustaining Creativity Podcast. We'd love to keep in touch, so follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are at Sustaining Creativity. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Tag your friends and family so they can listen too. We love to hear from you, so leave your reviews, comments, and questions. Check out our website, sustainingcreativity.com, for upcoming offerings and creativity coaching. Tune in Tuesdays for our next episode. And remember, with creativity, anything's possible.